Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriya. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhakta Sevanya. Bhagavati Uttamam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 26, a description of the hellish planets, text number 18 onwards. A person is considered no better than a crow if after receiving some food, he does not divide it among guests, old men, and children, but simply eats it himself, or if he eats it without performing the 5 kinds of sacrifice. After death, he is put into the most abominable hell, known as Krimi Bhojan. In that hell is a lake 100,000 yojans or 800,000 miles wide and filled with worms. He becomes a worm in that lake and feeds on the other worms there, who also feed on him. Unless he atones for his actions before his death, such a sinful man remains in the hellish lake of Krimi Bhojan for as many years as there are yojans in the width of the lake. So 100,000 yojans means 100,000 years he lives in that lake. Wow. More than anything else, I think this is what we should have a printout and hang it on our walls. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is first offered for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. All food is given to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord supplies everyone with the necessities of life. Therefore, we should acknowledge His mercy by performing yajna. This is a duty of everyone. Indeed, the sole purpose of life is to perform yajna. According to Krishna, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. If we do not perform yajna and distribute prasad to others, our lives are condemned. Only after performing yajna and distributing the prasad to all dependents, children, brahmins, and old men, should one eat. However, one who cooks only for himself or his family is condemned, along with everyone he feeds. After death, he is put into the hell known as Krimi Bhojan. So in the shloka, it is said without performing 5 kinds of sacrifice. Pancha yajna. I don't know exactly what is that. But regardless, so one has to feed it, divide all the food among guests, old men, and children. Means basically one has to do the charity of food as well. So devotees are released because they offer everything to Krishna, first of all. So once it is offered to Krishna, it becomes prasad. But still, afterwards also, if it is possible, one should give food to somebody. And this way, actually, we have this experience in Braj. Whenever we go, any house you go to, of the Brajvasis, not the people who have moved to live in Braj, the Brajvasis, any house you go to, in the evening, you just knock on the door of anybody, even if it is just poor person, materially poor. but you just ask for. You don't even have to ask. You just say Radha Krishna, and they'll at least get you a roti. This is what the heart of Brajvasis are. In fact, there was once we were in Barsana, and there was one Mataji visiting from USA, and the whole group, rest of the group was there. So we had taken darshan at the temple, and it was the evening time, and on the parikrama marg, not the usual houses that I used to take everybody to. So just one house, I just knocked at the door and just say Radhe Shyam. And this Mataji, she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Mata, we need to do some madhukari, need some begging." First of all, because she's from America and she's from a very wealthy family here also. And she's Indian body and very wealthy family in Delhi. And first of all, she didn't like that. Why you're begging? I said, Mata, this is a tradition in Braj. You have to beg. And that's how you should spend time here. And then her next question was, how do you know they have made extra roti for you? They must have must have had their dinner, and now they must be taking rest or whatever. How do you know? I said, Mata, this is a tradition here. Everybody makes extra rotis. She said, I don't believe you. I said, just wait 2 minutes. It won't take too long. So that lady came out, and then she saw we were at 5 or 6. And then she just gave us 2 rotis with some sabji. And this Mata was surprised, completely surprised. How is it possible? I said, this is what Brajvasis do. So at least we should do that. If nothing else, I know when we were little, Dadi and Nani, they all used to make first roti for the cow, second for the dog in the street, and then we would get our rotis. So this charity is very, very important. Otherwise, we can see one goes to Krimi Bhojan, hell. Text 90. My dear king, a person who in the absence of an emergency robs a Brahman or indeed anyone else of his gems and gold is put into a hell known as Sandancha. There his skin is torn and separated by red-hot iron balls and tongs. In this way, his entire body is cut to pieces. But obviously, he doesn't die because he has to go through this punishment. So robs a Brahman. See, Brahmans are so dear to Krishna. Brahmans and cows. No Brahman deva go Brahmana taicha. So anybody does anything to Brahman. Brahman also means devotee. Or tries to hurt a devotee or cow, then he has to suffer a lot. Text 20. A man or woman who indulges in sexual intercourse with an unworthy member of the opposite sex is punished after death by the assistance of Yamraj in the hell known as Saptasurmi. There such men and women are beaten with whips. The man is forced to embrace a red-hot iron form of the woman, and the woman is forced to embrace a similar form of a man. Such is the punishment for illicit sex. Generally, a man should not have sexual relations with any woman other than his wife. According to Vedic principles, the wife of another man is considered one's mother, and sexual relations are strictly forbidden with one's mother, sister, and daughter. If one indulges in illicit sexual relations with another man's wife, that activity is considered identical with having sex with one's mother. This act is most sinful. The same principle holds for a woman also. If she enjoys sex with a man other than her husband, the act is tantamount to having sexual relations with her father or son. Illicit sex life is always forbidden, and any man or woman who indulges in it is punished in the manner described in this verse. Text 21. A person who indulges in sex indiscriminately, even with animals, is taken after death to the hell known as Vajrakantak Shalmali. In this hell, there is a silk cotton tree full of thorns as strong as thunderbolts. The agents of Yamaraj hang the sinful man on that tree and pull him down forcibly so that the thorns very severely tear his body. Wow. Vajrakantak Shalmali. The sexual urge is so strong that sometimes a man indulges in sexual relations with a cow or a woman indulges in sexual relations with a dog. Such men and women are put into the hell known as Vajrakantak Shalmali. The Krishna consciousness movement forbids illicit sex. From the description of these verses, we can understand what an extremely sinful act illicit sex is. Sometimes people disbelieve these descriptions of hell, but whether one believes or not, everything must be carried out by the laws of nature, which no one can avoid. So that's what it is. Nobody can run away from these laws. A person who's born into a responsible family, such as a Kshatriya, a member of royalty, or a government servant, but who neglects to execute his prescribed duties according to religious principles, and who thus becomes degraded, falls down at the time of death into the river of hell known as Vetarani. This river, which is a moat surrounding hell, is full of ferocious aquatic animals. When a sinful man is thrown into the river Vetarani, the aquatic animals, they immediately begin to eat him. But because of his extremely sinful life, it does not leave his body. He constantly remembers his sinful activities and suffers terribly in that river, which is full of stool, urine, pus, blood, hair, nails, bones, marrow, flesh, and fat. God, this is very, very descriptive. Text 23. The shameless husbands of low-born Shudra women live exactly like animals, and therefore they have no good behavior, cleanliness, or regulated life. After death, such persons are thrown into the hell called Puyoda, where they are put into an ocean filled with pus, stool, urine, mucus, saliva, and similar things. Shudras who could not improve themselves fall into that ocean and are forced to eat these disgusting things. So live like animals. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung that persons following the paths of Karmakanda and Jnanakanda are missing the opportunities for human birth and gliding down into the cycle of birth and death. Thus, there is always a chance that he may be put into the Puyod Narak, the hell named Puyod, where one is forced to eat stool, urine, pus, mucus, saliva, and other abominable things. It is significant that this verse is spoken especially about Shudras. If one is born a Shudra, he must continually return to the ocean of Puyod to eat horrible things. Thus, even a born Shudra is expected to become a Brahman. That is the meaning of human life. Everyone should improve himself. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, according to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, 4 divisions of human society are created by me. Even if one is by qualification a Shudra, he must try to improve his position and become a Brahman. No one should try to check the person no matter what his present position is, from coming to the platform of a Brahman or a Vaishnava. Actually, one must come to the platform of a Vaishnava. Then he automatically becomes a Brahman. This can only be done if the Krishna consciousness movement is spread, for we are trying to elevate everyone to the platform of Vaishnava. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Pariteja. Abandon all other duties and simply surrender unto me. One must give up the occupational duties of a Shudra, Kshatriya, Vaishya and adopt the occupational duties of a Vaishnava, which include the activities of a Brahman. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas as well as Shudras, can approach the supreme destination. Human life is specifically meant for going back to Godhead. That facility should be given to everyone, whether one be a Shudra, a Vaishya, a woman, or a Kshatriya. This is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. However, if one is satisfied to remain a Shudra, he must suffer as described in this verse. So, no way we can run away. Text 24. If in this life a man of the higher classes, Brahman, Vaishya, and Kshatriya, is very fond of taking his pet dogs, mules, or asses into the forest to hunt and kill animals unnecessarily, he is placed after death into the hell known as Prana Rodha. There the assistants of Yamraj make him their targets and pierce him with arrows. So at least in the West, it's very popular for this hunting season. So they just go to the forest and hunt animals, unnecessarily kill them. There is a hell for them also. In the Western countries especially, aristocrats keep dogs and horses to hunt animals in the forest. Whether in the West or the East, aristocratic men in the Kali Yuga adopt the fashion of going to the forest and unnecessarily killing animals. Men of the higher classes, the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, should cultivate knowledge of the Brahman. And they should also give the Shudras a chance to come to that platform. If instead they indulge in hunting, they are punished as described in this verse. Not only are they pierced with arrows by the agents of Yamaraj, but they also put into the ocean of pus, urine, and stool described in the previous verse. Wow. So Yamdutas, they do the target practice on these people. A person who in this life is proud of his eminent position and who heedlessly sacrifices animals simply for material prestige is put into the hell called Vishasan after death. There the assistants of Yamraj kill him after giving him unlimited pain. So heedlessly sacrifices animals simply for material prestige. So the purpose of sacrifice is to please Krishna, not for material prestige. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Shuchinam Shimatam Gehe Yoga Prashto Vijayate. Because of his previous connection with Bhakti Yoga, a man is born into a prestigious family of Brahmins, aristocrats. Having taken such a birth, one should utilize it to perfect Bhakti Yoga. However, due to bad association, one often forgets that his prestigious position has been given to him by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he misuses it by performing various kinds of so-called yagyas like Kali Puja or Durga Puja, in which poor animals are sacrificed. How such a person is punished is described here. The word Dambha Yaggeshu in this verse is significant. If one violates the Vedic instructions while performing yagya and simply makes a show of sacrifice for the purpose of killing animals, he is punishable after death. In Calcutta, there are many slaughterhouses where animal flesh is sold that is supposedly been offered in sacrifice before the goddess Kali. The Shastras enjoin that one can sacrifice a small goat before the goddess Kali once a month. Nowhere it is said that one can maintain a slaughterhouse in the name of temple worship and daily kill animals unnecessarily. Those who do so receive the punishments described herein. Oh. Text 26. If a foolish member of the twice born classes, Brahman, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, forces his wife to drink his semen out of a lusty desire to keep her under control, he is put after death into the hell known as Lala Bhaksha. There he is thrown into a flowing river of semen which he is forced to drink. Oh. The practice of forcing one's wife to drink one's own semen is a black art practiced by extremely lusty persons. Those who practice this very abominable activity say that if a wife is forced to drink her husband's semen, she remains very faithful to him. Generally, only low-class men engage in this black art. But if a man born in a higher class does so, after death he is put into the hell known as Lala Bhaksha. There he is immersed in the river known as Shukra Nadi, and forced to drink semen. Text 27. I just want to see. Okay. In this world, some persons are professional plunderers who set fires to others' houses or administer poison to them. Also, members of the royalty or government officials sometimes plunder mercantile men by forcing them to pay income tax and by other methods. After death, such demons are put into the hell known as Sharamyedan. On that planet, there are 720 dogs with teeth as strong as thunderbolts. Under the orders of the agents of Yamaraj, these dogs voraciously devour such sinful people. So no mention of 72 virgins, but 720 dogs are mentioned here. In the 12th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, in this age of Kali, everyone will be extremely disturbed by three kinds of tribulations: scarcity of rain, famine, and heavy taxation by the government. Because human beings are becoming more and more sinful, there will be scarcity of rain, and naturally no food grains will be produced. On the plea of relieving the sufferings caused by the ensuing famine, the government will impose heavy taxes, especially on the wealthy mercantile community. In this verse, the members of such a government are described as dasyu, thieves. Their main activity will be to plunder the wealth of the people. Whether a highway robber or a government thief, such a man will be punished in his next life by being thrown into the hell known as Sharamyadan, where he will suffer greatly from the bites of ferocious dogs. Text 28. A person who in this life bears false witness or lies while transacting business or giving charity is severely punished after death by the agents of Yamaraj. Who bears false witness, so that happens every day in the court or among friends also, and relatives also, or lies while transacting business. Business cannot be done without telling lies. Nobody can make profit without telling lies. But here it says lies while transacting business or giving charity. So somebody can lie while giving charity also. So what happens to it? Such a sinful man is taken to the top of a mountain, 800 miles high, means 100 yojan high, and thrown head first into the hell known as Avichimat. This hell has no shelter and is made of strong stone resembling the waves of water. There is no water there, however, and thus it is called Avichimat, waterless. Although the sinful man is repeatedly thrown from the mountain and his body broken to tiny pieces, he still does not die, but continuously suffers chastisement. And in India, there used to be this rule, but it's not anymore. I was told that in court they used to tell, okay, put your hand in Bhagavad Gita and say whatever I'm going to say is going to be the truth, nothing but the truth and the only truth. And he speaks everything but the truth. So false witness, and that too, putting a hand on either Gita or Quran or Bible, whatever the country may be, then this hell is waiting. So they take him to a mountain 100 yojan high and throw him down head first. And at the bottom, there is, looks like it's water, but there is no water. It's all strong stones. So body is broken to tiny pieces, but he does not die. And then take him up again on the top of the mountain, throw him again. So it doesn't sound like a very good scene. But at the same time, of course, it's very terrible. And but looking at us, I'm pretty sure we all have been through this many times. But now we are reading, maybe we read earlier also, but we didn't take up devotion service so seriously. But it is time we take up the devotion service seriously. And try to rectify our thought process, our activities, our consciousness, and help others also. Because we can see how if person is not suffering right now, after death, he'll definitely is going to suffer. So we have to help others. We have to. Actually, today or yesterday, I think I posted that Mahaprasad of Jagannath Puri. So talking about hell, so Jagannath Puri, we know Lord Jagannath is very merciful. And it is said anybody who goes to take darshan of Lord Jagannath, all his sins are wiped out. Anybody who takes bath in Kumbh Mela, like Ashok Prabhuji is in Rishikesh, or takes bath in Vrindavan or Prayag, his sins are wiped out. So Yamraj came to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. He said, my dear Lord, you're sitting here and everybody who's coming to take your darshan, his sins are being wiped out. What will happen to my department? How am I going to take care of my department? And my whole Naraklok, Yamlok, it's going to be empty. So Jagannath Ji said, okay, at the Singh Dwar, or East Dwar, there are 4 doors. So the Singh Dwar, the main door. So he has okay, you put this plate, black stone, on the steps. You leave some room on the sides, about 1 foot or 1.5 foot of room is there on both the sides. And it's a long, very long black plate. So he says, so anybody who comes in to take my darshan and crosses over that plate, and some say it is Shaligram Shila also, of course. Such a huge Shaligram Shila is only possible for Lord Jagannath to make it appear. So he says anybody who crosses over that plate, he's going to get lots of sinful reactions. But if he comes in and takes my darshan, all his sins are gone. But as soon as he goes back and then crosses over the plate again, then he gets all those sinful reactions again. So that is why when we go to take darshan of Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri, we have to be very careful. We go from the side and come out also from the side, because it is Shaligram Shila, so we always respect it. Or best is go from other dwaras. Southern gate is there. There's no problem there. So the Lord is very merciful. Very, very merciful. He doesn't want us to suffer in these hells. But still, even after all this, all these facilities the Lord has given, and still we are hell bent on going to hell. What can He do? So, but these descriptions, they really make us wonder. Why? Who in the right mind would want to go there? So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, I guess everybody's scared.
सबको डरा दिया प्रभु जी आपने, तो क्वेश्चन किसी को नहीं आ रहा.
Yes, प्रभु जी, exactly.
सबको इतना डरा दिया आपने, क्वेश्चन किसी के दिमाग में आ ही नहीं रहे. कोई समझ रहे, सब गिन रहे कि मैंने कौन कौन से पाप किए, कहाँ कहाँ जा रहा हूँ मैं.
बिल्कुल ठीक बोल रहे हो.
नहीं, you all are listening to Bhagavatam. So all the sins are gone.
भागवतम तो ठीक है प्रभु जी, तो भागवतम में तो यही लिखा है कि ये करो तो यहाँ चल जाओ.
वो भागवतम पढ़ रहे हैं ना.
सब देखिए, अर्चना माता जी ने तो एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, सब डरे हुए हैं, कोई किसी के दिमाग में क्वेश्चन ही नहीं आ रहा. नो क्वेश्चन. सब अपने अपने पाप गिन रहे हैं कि कहाँ कहाँ जाना है, क्या क्या करना है.
थैंक यू भी नहीं बोला जा रहा प्रभु जी.
थैंक यू भी. एक ही चीज हो सकता है कि प्रभु जी इसमें 19वां श्लोक जो है कि हमने किसी ब्राह्मण को उसके जेम्स और गोल्ड से नहीं लूटा है, तो वहां नहीं जाएंगे हम, ये तो कंफर्म्ड है. बाकी तो किसी का पता नहीं.
Yes, it is crazy. It is crazy. So people think this is all mythological stories. It's not happening. Chalo, I guess we can stop here. So our chanting sabki achhi hone wali hai, I know that. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hari Go.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hari Go.